resolve disputes, but also affirm the importance of pluralism in building peaceful and inclusive societies. Judges protect freedom of religion by interpreting laws that guarantee the right to worship, teach, and express one's beliefs freely. For example, when cases involving religious discrimination, bans on attire, or restrictions on rituals come before the courts, judges must carefully evaluate whether such measures violate constitutional or international standards. Their decisions often affirm the principle that everyone has the right to follow their conscience, provided it does not infringe upon the rights of others. By doing so, they reinforce the idea that diversity strengthens rather than divides us. One of the most challenging aspects of protecting religious freedom is balancing competing interests within pluralistic societies. Judges face difficult questions when dealing with issues like public prayer, religious symbols in schools, or conscientious objections to medical procedures. While some argue that these practices promote cultural heritage or personal conviction, others see them as exclusionary or discriminatory. Judges carefully analyze the context, intent, and impact of policies to determine whether they strike a fair balance between individual freedoms and collective welfare. For instance, in cases involving headscarves or turbans in educational settings, judges may rule in favor of accommodation unless there is clear evidence of disruption or harm. These nuanced judgments require deep legal expertise and a commitment to upholding democratic values. Religious minorities often rely heavily on judicial intervention to defend their rights against majority dominance or state interference. Judges address issues like forced conversions, desecration of sacred sites, or denial of permits for places of worship. They enforce anti-discrimination laws, award damages to victims, and mandate corrective actions from authorities or institutions. For example, in disputes over zoning regulations or noise complaints targeting churches, mosques, or temples, judges ensure that minority groups receive equal treatment under the law. These efforts help restore trust in governance and foster environments where all faiths can thrive harmoniously. Secularism represents another critical dimension of judges' work in protecting religious freedom. In countries with secular constitutions, judges must ensure that governments remain neutral in matters of faith while respecting citizens' rights to express their beliefs publicly or privately. For instance, in cases involving government funding for religious schools, prayers at official events, or displays of religious symbols on public property, judges weigh the potential for endorsement or exclusion. Their rulings clarify boundaries between church and state, preventing either side from dominating the other. These decisions help maintain social cohesion and prevent sectarian tensions from escalating into conflict. International cooperation amplifies judges' ability to address violations of religious freedom across borders. Bodies like the United Nations Human Rights Council, International Court of Justice at ICJ, and regional tribunals provide frameworks for investigating and prosecuting crimes rooted in religious hatred, persecution, or genocide. Judges collaborate with these organizations to hold states accountable for policies that marginalize or oppress religious groups. Their work highlights the interconnectedness of human rights globally and reinforces the belief that freedom of belief is a universal value. Technology has introduced new dimensions to religious freedom, demanding innovative judicial responses. Social media platforms, online forums, and digital tools have become spaces for both promoting interfaith dialogue and spreading hate speech, misinformation, or incitement to violence. Judges adapt by ruling on cases involving cyberbullying, blasphemy allegations, or censorship of religious content. For example, they may order tech companies to remove harmful posts while cautioning against overreach that could suppress legitimate expression. These efforts ensure that innovation serves humanity rather than exacerbating existing divisions. Education and awareness campaigns complement judges' work in promoting religious freedom. By supporting initiatives that teach students, professionals, and citizens about different faiths, traditions, and philosophies, the judges empower individuals to challenge stereotypes proactively. They also advocate for reforms that simplify grievance procedures, reduce costs, and increase accessibility for marginalized groups. These combined efforts create environments where mutual respect replaces suspicion and understanding fosters unity. Despite their crucial role, judges often encounter resistance from powerful entities seeking to impose uniformity or evade accountability. To maintain independence and resist external pressures, they rely on institutional safeguards, professional networks, and public support. Awareness campaigns, legal education programs, and watchdog organizations further bolster judges' ability to enforce religious freedom laws effectively. By standing firm in the face of adversity, they inspire courage and resilience among advocates for pluralism and peace. In conclusion, judges are indispensable in protecting freedom of religion and belief, ensuring that individuals can live authentically and harmoniously regardless of their faith or worldview. Their dedication to balancing competing interests while defending human dignity shapes the trajectory of nations, empowering citizens to build brighter futures together. Religious freedom is not just a privilege. It is a cornerstone of democracy, and judges are its steadfast guardians,